Gang, I hate to break it to you, but you've been using some typographical terminology wrong. The thing that you thought you knew about some of these terms is incorrect. It's not 100% your fault. In fact, there are some people here on YouTube that are trying to tell you the wrong things. These are some pretty popular designers and they're using it wrong. They're using it wrong. So I'm here to help you out, and I'm going to use this sparkling soda with the French sounding name to illustrate. Let's go. What's going on, party people? My name is Dave Connery. I'm an artist and designer based in Southern California, and I talk about a lot of different things, and one of the things I probably have talked about in the past is typographical terminology. That's probably something you probably weren't expecting to know about, and maybe you don't even care, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because I have noticed that there's a whole lot of people getting it wrong. This is going to be strictly for the super design geeks. If you're not one of these super design geeks, or you really have no interest in what actual typographical terminology might be or even care about, then, you know, I don't know, just let this sucker play throughout in the background, maybe turn the volume down, and when you're done, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and the next one will be better for you, I promise. But I promise you that if you're even marginally interested in knowing a little bit about typographical terminology, and I keep saying that phrase and I almost trip over it every time, but if you're interested even just a little bit, stick around. So one of the terms that people misuse pretty much on a regular basis, I see this all the time. Rather, I hear it all the time. I hear and see people using this term incorrectly all the time, and it's font. What the font are you talking about, Dave? See, what's happened is that we've just automatically replaced certain terminology with stuff that we just happen to use perhaps a little bit more often, even if we are using it incorrectly. See, font is actually a very specific term for a very specific thing, but we happen to use it as kind of like a blanket statement to include all things, kind of like Kleenex or Coke or something like that. But this is a little different because, sure, a Kleenex tissue may be the same as a soft teak tissue or whatever other brand, but a font is not the same thing as a typeface. Wait, Dave, what do you mean by that? What do you mean a font is not the same thing as a typeface? I don't get it. What's a typeface and why is it not a font, or vice versa? Why are they not the same? Allow me to illustrate. Imagine for a second that this is a typeface. This soda is a typeface. It is very distinct. You know it when you see it. It's got flavors, it's got style, it's got colors. So you see it and it's either I've never seen that typeface before, or you're saying to yourself, like, I've seen this one before, it's one of my favorites, or I've seen this one before and I will never ever use that one ever again. Hello, Ariel. That's a running joke. Get with the program. So if this is a typeface, then this is a font. Okay, so what do you mean by that, Dave? It's really very simple, okay? This is the typeface, and this is the vehicle to deliver the typeface into my mouth. Now, sure, okay, in the circumstances, the can also technically be part of that idea of delivery. For the purposes of this video, let's just assume that what we're talking about here is a liquid styling thing inside here as a typeface, and this is the vehicle in order to get it to where it needs to go, namely into my mouth. I usually don't make a habit of putting typography in my mouth, but let's just say, for instance, I need to get my typeface into my computer, and this being the typeface, I am the computer, and this is the font. Delivery. Spicy good. You see, the typeface is the thing that a typographer created. Helvetica, Arial, Times New Roman, Garamond, Comic Sans, Papyrus, Futura, all of these are typefaces. They were created by somebody to become a typeface to be used in regular settings, whether it was old school, like paste up on the newspapers and the magazines, or new school where it's used as a piece of software in the computer. So imagine again, this is the original design thing. The typographer decided they wanted to make a thing called Helvetica, and they put it in a can like this. Then over time, they decided, well, hey, we need to start making these things so that people can use them on computers, so we need to turn them into software, which is this. The font is nothing but a piece of software that encapsulates the typeface. See, now here's where it gets really interesting. The minute that I put that typeface into my body, I can start to use it for my own purposes. I won't go into that deeply, but you get the idea. And then when I use that typeface in whatever way that I see fit, then I am creating a typographical treatment. I am not creating a font on a page. I'm not creating a typeface on a page, I'm laying a typeface upon a page and treating it myself. So it's my typographical treatment. Whether I'm using a regular box of paragraph type, or I'm doing some sort of interesting type treatment where there's curves and lines and shifts and everything like that. If I use, let's say, Futura, and I use that within the scope of a logo design, maybe I tweak it a little, I move it around, that is a typographical treatment. That is not a font. That is no longer a typeface. If I adjust a typeface to my own needs, then I am no longer using the typeface. I am now using an original type design. Just to recap, typographer is the person that made the typeface. Typeface is the thing that you visualize and you see, oh, that looks neat, I like that one. Font is how you got it from his mind into your computer. Typographical treatment is when you used it to create something interesting, and then when you did something really kind of cool, then it was type design. Some other alternatives would be calligraphy. Now, some people can draw calligraphy on a page, and they can also draw calligraphy in the computer. Some people like to draw hand-drawn, handmade, sign painterly type stuff. Those are also typographical treatments. And so now everything we've talked about is all encapsulated in the phrase typography. I'm doing this as if I'm going to lay the word here. I may or may not do that. Typography covers all of that stuff, every last bit of it. So if this is a typeface, then a six-pack is typography. Probably more so the place where they bottled and engineered all the different sodas for all the different places, that's actually typography. This is just one typeface. This is just one font. This is just one computer. Let's go. I know you probably didn't need this scolding today, but I just figured, well, there's some people here, prominent people, some people who should know better, who are using the words incorrectly, and every time I hear it, I cringe. Like, This is complete typographical geek stuff. So if you come across a typographical geek like myself, and you use the word font where you should be using the word typeface, then I'm gonna mock you and point at you when you're not looking. And that pretty much goes for anybody who's a typographical geek. Anytime you use font in place of typography or typographical treatment or typeface, then yeah, you're gonna get laughed at. Or not, because now you know. And again, maybe you don't care. And if you don't care, that's okay too. But I would be remiss if I didn't at least bring it up. So what do we call this one? Typography 101? How about more like Type Geek Soapboxing 101? They're probably the elective that you really dread ever taking, but you know, you have to take it because I'm not gonna let you pass unless you do. And I run the department, not really, but you know, in my dreams. That's all I got for this time. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too much of a finger wagger. Maybe I learned you something. Maybe you're just like, whatever, Dave, go away. And I'm gonna do that in about 30 seconds, but not before I tell you, hey, if you did enjoy this even a little bit, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit the bell if you haven't done that, because you never wanna miss any of this. If you have any questions, you have any thoughts, you have anything you wanna share, contrary or otherwise, you can add those in the comments. Whether I answer you or not is completely determinative about how nice you are. Just saying. Also, if you happen to have any other questions about typography, wanna know something else, want me to talk about something else, you can also talk about that in the comments too, and we will consider it for the future. And until next time, remember, be good today, be even better tomorrow. See ya. Tingly.